Hey, you wild women. Welcome back to a wild take, a little snippet of advice based on things that I believe, motivations of my life, experiences that have changed my life in positive ways, routines, you name it. Today, I want to talk to you about the first 60 minutes of your day. Now, the other day, I put out a poll on Instagram asking people if they needed help finding more time in their day. And I got into so many DMs with women who were trying to figure out how to find an extra 20 minutes. There's a lot of people that don't have time for movement in their day. Now, we understand, like, when it comes to working out and exercise, there's this notion that it has to be 60 minutes and that it has to be intense. And it's just not true. So I say, if you don't have any time in the day to go to the gym or work out, there are moments where you can find 20 minutes to get the body moving. For me, this morning is a perfect example, and I'll talk about this in this episode. But really quickly, you probably know this, but what if I told you that the first 60 minutes of your day will determine pretty much the success of your 24 hours? Do you believe me? Do you ever notice that there are some people that seem to just glide through the day with consistency and they're always constantly accomplishing the things on their list? While there's other people, maybe you, that are just chasing things all the time. So they've mastered, the people that actually get it done have mastered what I call the golden 60. So the golden 60 isn't about cramming more into your morning. It's about strategically using your peak energy windows when your willpower is the strongest and your mind is the clearest. Now, you might know this, that the first few moments of your day when waking up, your cortisol levels are the highest, meaning you're actually the most stressed. Now, if you have something like an Oura ring, like I use, you'll see that on your app, that your stress is highest in the morning. I'm not going to go into detail about why that is, but knowing this is the truth is a great opportunity for you to start with things in your day that actually help calm your mind and calm your nervous system. So the sacred time in the morning, the first 60 minutes is, it's best to get up before the world's waking up. It's best to get up and start doing a practice before the world start demanding your attention. So think of it as building a fortress around your most important priorities before the day battle begins, right? And if you have kids, it's even more intense. When you master the golden 60, those first 60 minutes, you're not just checking off tasks. You're setting up mental, physical, and emotional dominoes that keep falling in your favor all day long. There is a common misconception about this, though. Let me be very clear about something. The golden 60 in a morning routine does not mean that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. However, it definitely helps. Now, you can do anything in that first 60 minutes, from meditation to marathon training to creating checklists to editing a book, all before the sun even comes up, unless you live close to me in the Northern Hemisphere, where in the summertime, the sun is up at 4 a.m. So people have the image of successful individuals jumping into ice baths and reading 3 books before breakfast. But here's the reality. An effective morning routine isn't about quantity of activities or competing with someone else's schedule. It's about identifying the specific elements that prime you for peak performance. Some of the most successful people I know have surprisingly simple morning routines, but they execute them with unwavering consistency. So going back to this poll that I ran on Instagram, when I spoke with these probably 20 to 30 women, I asked them, where do they lose 20 minutes a day? And you know what every single one of them said? Probably won't surprise you. Scrolling social media. A lot of these people have their phones plugged in next to their bed or across the bedroom. And I highly urge you to not do that, not only because of the EFT emissions, but also there is an incredible incentive to grab your phone if you can't sleep, or to grab your phone when you first wake up. I follow the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. When I wake up in the morning and I know it's time for my body to get up, I put my feet over the side of the bed as soon as my feet hit the ground, I have trained myself to do this, that I stand up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Every single time, and it works. So for you, here's an idea of what we can do. So going back to these women, actually, I don't know how many conversations I had with them. There were some women that are like, I scroll too much before bed, or it's the first thing I do in the morning. So all I'm asking them to do is to try for a week is plugging their phone in, recharging it outside of the bedroom. And if you have 2 floors in your house and the bedroom's upstairs, plug it in the kitchen. I guarantee you, you will not be incentivized to go and get it and jump back into bed. Now, the golden 60 framework. This is what I'm talking about, the first 60 minutes of your day. Now, I know some of you have kids and they probably wake you up in the morning, or they get up right after you wake up. So there's a small adjustment that you're going to have to do. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. And I bet you know people, women, that have kids the same age as you, yet they still work out, they still get their reading in, their morning meditation and journaling. So there's really no excuse. You are the person stopping you from actually achieving a really great morning routine. The first 60-second framework or 60-minute framework is called RISE. Reset, ignite, set intentions, and execute. Reset. Number 1, hydrate. Simple thing. I have a water bottle. This one is 32 ounces. Great. I just spilled some on my journal. So I have a 32-ounce water bottle that I fill up every night before bed. And I put it right on the counter, so it's the first thing I see when I come downstairs. And I drink until I can't breathe. And then I go take a little bite of banana. But your body, think about it. If you slept for 8 or 9 hours, that's 8 or 9 hours of no liquids. Would you go an entire day, the entire workday, without drinking water? Probably not. So you need to hydrate no matter what. And you don't have to put any fancy things in your water. I know there's a lot of people, they do AG1s, or they put magnesium or warm lemon water, creatine, doesn't matter. Just start by filling up a water bottle, putting it right where you come down in the morning. Maybe it's next to your bed or next to your shoes, and start drinking. Make sure you have something in your stomach, like a banana or something that is nutritious, nutrient dense, before you have anything else. Don't have a cup of coffee. Don't run out the door without fueling your body. It is absolutely important. So the next thing in the reset, this part of the morning routine, is you want to, these steps can be adjusted too. You want to get some movement in. So this morning, going back to what I was talking about earlier, this morning I didn't have a chance to get to the gym. I didn't get a chance to sign up for CrossFit. Gosh, I haven't been in a while. But we have a gym downstairs. And I haven't been feeling the best, admittedly. So this morning, which I typically wake up at 5 to get this process started, it was 6 a.m. by the time I rolled out of bed. And I let myself sleep today. So knowing that at 6:15, my morning routine starts with my kids, because I always make them breakfast in the morning. It's one thing that I absolutely love to do. I reversed things. I made sure that their breakfast was ready. So I did that. So I drank my water, got their breakfast ready. And then I put on my running shoes and I went downstairs and I did my movement. Now, if I have to choose between morning movement and journaling and reading, I'm always going to journal and read. But when I looked at my day, I realized I need to actually move my body. So my total workout this morning was only 25 minutes. But that is 25 minutes more than nothing. And I ran for 20 minutes and I ran hard for 20 minutes. And then I did 5 minutes of abs. The thing is you really need to, it's kind of like it kickstarts your body. And I instantly felt better. Now, if I have better time management, usually when I'm feeling a lot better, is I'll get up at 5. I'll do some journaling. I read my 10 pages. I kind of check my calendar for the day. What's my priority? And I create my priority task checklist. Most of the time, because I have an assistant, that stuff is already scheduled in my calendar. So my task list isn't so much something that I write out, but it's either written out and scheduled or has already been scheduled for me, like before recording this episode, I had to record an intro for a guest episode that I did the other week. And I didn't write that out as a task, but my assistant knew it needed to get done. So she scheduled it in for me. So the other thing too with the reset, and I'm just going to put this out as a feeler, is temperature contrast, meaning hot shower to cold finish. This creates alertness. So if you get up, have your water, have your coffee, do your movement, and this could be not even your workout for the day. It is literally 10 minutes walking in your place, 10 minutes of body movements, 20 minutes of body movement, then a cold hot shower. You're good to go. I actually did this last night. I did a hot tub cold plunge with my son, Noah, because I just needed to get the blood flowing again. And let me tell you, when you go from being cold in a cold plunge for 30 seconds to 2 minutes to warming up, your body is so relaxed. And before bed, I actually had a great sleep. But it does the same thing for you in the morning. So I know there's a lot of cliched, have your supplements, do a cold plunge in the morning. There's a reason why a lot of successful people do it, because it works for them. The other thing too that's really important is your deep breathing to oxygenate your brain and body. I find myself very often holding my breath, especially when I'm doing tasks that I'm in flow, because sometimes I'll just all of a sudden gasp for air, like a big, it's because I was holding my breath, maybe from excitement or stress. But when you actually breathe, like really good deep breathing consistently, think about it this way. Picture your body sleeping at night and you're at rest and there's very minimal blood flow. So your phalanges, your hands and your feet need the blood. So you get up, you have the movement, you have the breathing, you have the temperature contrast. It helps your blood to like fully oxygenate your body. Think of it that way, is you're pumping air into all the corners of your body, which is so important. So step 2 is the ignite part. So I sometimes will do this as step 1, but you want mental clarity. So this is meditating or journaling. You can roll right out of bed and do this, or however you want to do this in the steps. I find that even just writing out a few things that are stressing me out to get it out on paper is enough to actually stop me from stressing out about those things. And it doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It could be 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You just write. Also, this could be a good time for some people because they are just ready to go in the morning, is when they're going to learn or do some sort of skill development. So if you have online courses that you're learning, maybe now is a good time to watch 1 or 2 modules and take some notes. This for me is also the best time of day for my creative thinking and problem solving, depending on the day. So Tuesdays and Fridays, Betty drives the boys to school, and that's usually when I have my personal training at 9 a.m. So there's less pressure for me to get the kids out the door. So I actually have extra time. So those are my days to dedicated creative thinking. This is coming up with strategy, with offers, with website copy, stuff that I'm working on for the Pink Skirt Project, which, by the way, is an event June 12th in Kelowna, BC. You got to come out. Go to thepinkskirtproject.com. And this is where you read or you listen to stuff. So when I'm making the boys breakfast, I throw on my headphones and I listen to Headway or a podcast or an audiobook. So I use the morning time as a time to be learning because things sink in for me the most then. So when they have breakfast, in the morning, admittedly, there's not a lot of being present mother. And I used to be ashamed of this, but I really don't care what other people think. It is my time for me, for learning, for body movement, for getting the kids ready for school. I'm not going to sit there and play a board game with them. We're not going to hang out that often. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we'll bring the dog for a walk in the morning. Sometimes we'll do a board game together, make a puzzle. But every morning at drop off, because there's at least 20 minutes between Max that gets picked up on the bus and when Noah's school opens, we hang out. We go to a coffee shop and we do Wordle. He orders a little hot chocolate. I order a little coffee. And we sit there and we do Wordle for 20 minutes at a local coffee shop. And we both absolutely love that time together. But it doesn't happen every day. Knowing that in the evenings, that's our connection time. That's when we have family meals. That's when we play board games, we hang out, watch shows together, cuddle, you name it. Knowing that the morning is so intense most of the time with like getting everybody fed and ready, to ask myself to put my entire Golden 60 framework aside to be present with my kids, knowing that I can do that in the evening, is that's okay for me. So step 3 is setting intentions. So this is reviewing your key goals and your priorities for the day, time blocking your most important tasks, visualizing your successful outcomes, preparing your environment for success. I love to have a clean house before I go to bed. I love to have a tidy house before I leave it for the day. So when you come home at the end of a busy day, it's nice that things are just in its place. So we all, every single one of us, take 5 minutes to clean up after ourselves before we leave the house. It's quite simple. My kids are old enough and it's a great responsibility. So in writing out the tasks, some stuff, like I said, is already in my calendar. I will write out the task and I will either do the thing right away, or I'll message, I use Voxer, my assistant, to schedule time for me to complete the task, because she manages my calendar. She manages my time. Let me tell you. By the way, the sponsor for the show, Linked VA, they have the most incredible pool of virtual assistants, people that can help you with this exact thing. My assistant makes sure that my task list is scheduled so that nobody else can take advantage of my time and my calendar. Bada boom, bada bing. That's why assistants are so important. So anyways, go to linkedva.com. Go check out, we're linked below. Actually, if you want to go click on the link, you can book a call to figure out how one of the Linked VA virtual assistant specialists can help you with your business and manage your calendar, like everything I'm talking about. So the last step of this Golden 60 is you need to tackle your most challenging tasks first. So if in that first 60 minutes after your body movement, after you've had some fluids, maybe your coffee, all this stuff, now you got to make sure that the most important thing that gets done today, meaning if you have nothing else that you can accomplish today, and this is the one thing you do, that gets done first. You have to work in complete focus without distraction. So where are you going to work? If you work from home and your kids are there and you find yourself not being able to work, fix your environment. Fix it. I'm sick and tired of hearing people saying, well, my kids are home, I can't do the work. Then leave. Find help. Leave. Ask your partner, whatever. Figure it out. Find a babysitter. You need to fix your environment. Stuff things in your house, on your desk. Those are distractions. Clear it out. Clean it out. Create a space where you can focus and be the most creative. You need to build momentum through those small wins. So what is a moment? For me, it's like I already checked off 2 things today. It's not quite 10 a.m. and I have another podcast recording in a couple minutes. And if I packed everything up and I walked away, I'd feel accomplished today. So that's a huge celebration for me. So we got to celebrate these things too. And then create success triggers for the rest of your day. I think every little step forward is something to be celebrated. Everything from if you drank more water today, if you drank less caffeine, if you ate healthy, all these things, like reward yourself on some level. You need to celebrate the wins. So these are high performance morning routines. This is what I do. And every single week, it gets more refined and better. The most important thing too is when you find something that works for you, be consistent with it. I can talk about my husband's morning routine. It's quite different than mine. I don't want to or can't do what he does. And even if I could do in terms of timing wise, I'm not training for an Ironman. I don't have a team of like 50 people to manage. So my responsibilities are different. Don't compare your morning routine to somebody else's. Just know that you need to harness the morning, especially if you're an entrepreneur, to be able to take advantage of your energy, your creativity, and setting the tone for the flow of your day. There's no better time to do this. And if that means that you have to cut back on the shows that you're watching before bed, if that means that your nighttime routine needs to be improved so that you could take advantage of a better morning routine, then do that. Because let me tell you, I have never been proud of a season of Netflix that I've accomplished. I've been proud of getting up and moving my body, of drinking water and feeling good throughout the day. So your morning routine has to be reflective of something that'll make you happy, excited, and proud. Remember, the golden 60 isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Start with one element from each step and then build from there. The goal isn't to copy someone else's. It's to build something that is designed for you, works for you, and is sustainable for you. If you want to catch me in the morning, you can follow me on Instagram, Renee_Warren. I'm not consistent at it because I tried to avoid social, but sometimes I share what I'm reading. Sometimes I share my morning routine, and I would just love to connect with you. Anyway, I'd love to hear about your morning routine. So DM me on Instagram, Renee_Warren. Until next time, ladies, peace out.